You would never imagine that there was some connection between Nintendo, one of the world's biggest game creators, and Kanye West, rap icon. And for a long time, that was true. But just a few years ago, the two crossed paths. And spoiler alert, things didn't quite go as planned. So let's talk about the drama between Nintendo and Kanye West. Our story starts at E3, the world's biggest gaming conference. Countless game creators like Sega, Microsoft, Sony, and Nintendo hold booths where people can come and try out the games they're working on. And at Nintendo's booth at E3, an unexpected visitor showed up. Kanye West, world-famous rapper and music producer. This wasn't some publicity stunt. Nintendo had no idea he'd be there. But Kanye wasn't there to play games. Instead, he was looking for one particular person, Shigeru Miyamoto, the guy who created Mario. Luckily for Kanye, Miyamoto was actually at Nintendo's E3 booth, and despite the language barrier, the two ended up chatting for a while about the world of games. Then, Kanye moved on to talk to another huge Nintendo figure, Reggie Fils-Aime, at the time the president of Nintendo of America. And during this conversation, Kanye made a surprising request. He wanted Reggie Fils-Aime, president of Nintendo, to come to Kanye's own office for an important meeting. Now, this was all taking place during E3, which is an extremely chaotic time. But on the other hand, the person asking was Kanye West. You don't say no to Kanye West. So, Reggie managed to set aside a bit of time in his busy schedule to meet with the rapper. He headed off to Kanye's Yeezy Studio in Calabasas, California. Here's a few pictures of what the place looks like. And after knocking on the door, Reggie was met by not one, but two celebrities greeting him. Kanye West and his then wife, Kim Kardashian, also a global celebrity who is as famous, perhaps more famous than Kanye West himself. Reggie had no idea she was also going to be there. Still, Reggie headed into the studio, wondering just what Kanye West wanted to talk to him about. Finally, West revealed the reason for the meeting. He wanted to make a game. Well, he had actually already started. As Reggie explained, he was experimenting with a piece of video game content. He wanted reactions to it. What was the game? Well, there's only 3 people in the world who know that for sure. Kanye West, Reggie Fils-Aime, and Kim Kardashian. However, it is publicly known that Kanye was working on a game around that time called Only One. And I think that Only One is probably the game that Kanye showed to Nintendo. So, what is Only One? Well, in 2014, Kanye released a song called Only One about his late mother, Donda West. The song is actually sung from Donda's perspective, as a message to her son, Kanye. And 2 years later, in 2016, Kanye West announced that he'd been working on a video game called Only One, also based around the life of his mother, Donda West. Only a single trailer has ever been released for the game, which I'm showing on screen right now. Now, details about the game are relatively sparse, but it was going to be an endless runner for the iPhone, where the goal was to guide Donda West to heaven. It's clearly a premise that was very personal to Kanye. So, considering the time frame of events, I think it's fairly likely that Only One is the game that Kanye West showed Reggie Fils-Aime. And like Reggie said, Kanye wanted feedback on it. But not only feedback. He turned to Reggie and said, "I want to work with Nintendo." As one of the most prolific game developers, Nintendo must have seemed like the ideal partner to bring Only One to life. Unfortunately though, Reggie couldn't say yes. Nintendo were just too busy to work with Kanye. "We had so many different projects at Nintendo going on," he explained. "The possibility of doing something with Kanye just wasn't there. And so, I had to find a way to politely decline this opportunity to work with him." So, Reggie turned to Kanye and said, "Kanye, you don't want to work with us because we're tough, we're hard. All we do is push for the very best content. We would not be the type of partner you would want to work with. Bad decision, Reggie. That was not the right thing to say, because Kanye looked at Reggie and replied, "Reggie, you're exactly the type of partner I want because of that reason." Reggie froze in shock. Eventually, he had to just turn Kanye down more frankly, and the project never ended up coming to fruition. No deal was done between Kanye and Nintendo, and Reggie left Kanye's studio and returned to E3. That was the final interaction between Kanye and Reggie. In fact, between Kanye and Nintendo. So how do the two feel about this meeting? Well, it seems they have very different interpretations. Reggie says he has no hard feelings. He said that he walked away from the meeting with the feeling that Kanye has such a passion for the video game space, and he's a creator. Kanye, though? Well, it's hard to know, but during an event where he talked about Only One, his game, he said, "No, you don't understand. I go out and meet with everybody in San Fran and they'll diss the fuck out of me. And I'll be like, I want to make a game. And they'll be like, fuck you." Maybe Kanye wasn't talking about his meeting with Nintendo, to be clear. It sounds like he was met with a lot of no's during the process of trying to get Only One started. And finished. The game is not done. According to ex-developers on the project, the game hasn't been worked on since 2016. That's over 5 years ago. So will it ever see the light of day? Maybe? As we've seen time and time again, Kanye West is an unpredictable man, so anything is possible. Just don't hold your breath for that big crossover between Kanye and Star Fox. Hey, thank you for watching. I hope you found this story interesting. If you're interested in more strange stories from the history of video games, subscribe, because I make videos like this every week. You can also follow me on Twitter @ThomasGDocs, and I will see you next week. Bye!